Hey guys, Crozo here, back with another Mythic Plus video for you. Today I'm going over a 14 Rookery that I ran. And first, I quickly want to go over my gear. I was 665, pretty much 666 when I ran this key. I had 23% crit, 24% haste, 36% mastery, and 6% verse. I got some new items, and I kind of am changing my stats a little bit each week. But this doesn't feel so bad, this setup. And my talents are just the general AoE Mythic Plus talents for Demo Warlocks, just like this. I'll link them in the description. Okay, so going into the key, this first pull is a pretty fun one, but you need to be careful. This mob here, the mini boss, casts a frontal of 3 balls that bounce across the room, and you want to make sure you're not standing in the frontal. You can stand on top of this tent here and drop your demonic circle, and you will be elevated above the orbs, and they will never hit you. But if you're on this tent here, your pets can spawn up here, but have no path to hit the mobs. It's really buggy. As maybe Affliction or Destra might be okay, but Demonology, I never stand here. I always stand on the stairs instead, and I put my demonic circle up here. That way, if I want to teleport to dodge the frontal, I can just up here. You'll see the other ranged are up here, but they aren't worried about having pets bug out. I'm not lusting this pull, but I just go ahead and pop all my cooldowns anyway. You see, this is the frontal. It goes in and out, so you make sure you get out of the way and don't get it twice. I ended up not needing to teleport because I was out of the way of the frontals as they came, so I didn't need to put the circle, but it's always good to be safe. I go ahead and use my Vile Fiend on cooldown, just to get it going on cooldown. But I don't want to implode my ads. I want to save the imps as long as possible. When we get out of combat, they get extra duration. And we're going to fly over to this next area. My Vile Fiend and dogs should be off cooldown by the time we pull the second pack with Lust. So I have a kind of a head start on my Tyrant. I've already got 8 imps right now. I'll probably only have 6 by the time we start combat. But I have 6 more imps than I would have before. I can use those to get more soul shards, or just to ramp into my Tyrant with.
The title, the glory, it should have been mine, Beryl Grim. You'll never deserve to be Stormward.
These packs can be pretty annoying. They've got a lot of casters that do a lot of chain casting. Things that are priority interrupts as well. You can see on the left I missed my interrupt, so I used Shadow Fury instead. Another thing about this area too is that your Grimoire Felguard, your 2-minute cooldown, whenever it charges into combat, it will also interrupt the target. It will stun and interrupt your target. If you're going to use your cooldowns in a pack, maybe try and target a caster with your Grimoire Felguard as he's casting, just for extra value. I'm getting PI this key, but sometimes it does feel a bit random when I'm getting it. This time it was pretty good, like right before my ramp started, so no complaints there. I think the priest was just sending it on cooldown, which is totally fine. I'll take it. You'll see that we have a lot of these casts going off, and that's going to kill me later. Just the lack of us using interrupts and CC to stop these casts. Also, you can use Curse of Tongues on these mobs. Definitely not a bad idea. This part here, you can gateway on the back. Just make sure you stay close to these pillars here. You don't want someone to take your gateway and pull the boss. When you gateway, just make sure you stay close to the back of the wall by these pillars, just to save a bit of time. In these packs, if you have a priority target, it definitely would be these birds. The birds are doing huge AoE damage, and they also drop those frontals in the ground you have to dodge. They're quite annoying. They have the most HP though, so they won't necessarily always die first. Getting interrupts on the ads who give them a buff is important, as well as these Thunderers. You'll see I die here in a second with my interrupt up. I'm pretty focused here on trying to ramp for my Tyrant, so I don't interrupt or stun. And I get hit with like 3 lightning bolts at once. And it's just pretty unfortunate that it worked out that way. 3 lightning bolts at the same time. That'll kill you, that's for sure. So I'm going to skip my running back. When I get to this pack, it's almost dead already. I have nothing built up, so I'm just going to try and spawn some imps and not use any of my other demons. That way going into the boss, I have some imps to help, spawn a Tyrant. I spawn my Vile Fiend before combat because my imps will keep their bonus duration I mentioned earlier when they're out of combat. Summoning Vile Fiend will not put me in combat because it's not attacking the boss yet. And then I'll go immediately into my dogs, and then when they hit the boss, I'll finally be in combat, but these imps will keep their duration until the dogs hit the boss. It buys you a bit of extra time to try and ramp for your Tyrant. After that, I immediately used Power Siphon into a Demon Bolt, into a Hand of Gul'dan, and then I went from having like no resources to having like a 9 or 10 imp Tyrant, which isn't bad. It was 12 actually. 12 is really good, especially without Lust. So I was able to kind of catch back up after dying by holding my imps and using my resources pretty well. And this boss is a pretty simple boss. You just run around the room. If you did Nerebar Palace, this boss is kind of like Bloodbound Horror. You'll drop your demonic circle and wait for the beam to come by you, and then you'll just teleport back behind the beam as it passes to generate some uptime. And teleport back, and then I can keep hitting the boss. These blue circles last for a while. You can generally finish your cast if it spawns on you while you're casting, but I wouldn't start a new cast in those blue circles. The one problem with this boss is that sometimes if it teleports away, your pets are stuck on the other side, and they all have to run back in super slowly. And that's pretty much the fight. You spread for these big blue circles, you dodge the lines, spread for a circle, and then the boss will go in the middle and spin around again. Also, one thing here, the boss, when they spawn these lines, the line will always spawn over these corner bits with like the vent. The solid ground is always safe, so I need to make sure I get over here so I don't get spawn killed. It'll always do that. Happened at a bad time, right when I was trying to ramp for my Tyrant. I didn't plan ahead. So drop my circle, wait for the line to pass, and the blue circles to pass. You don't want to teleport back into a circle and, kill your character. The one thing about this strategy is that if you're in a melee heavy group, the boss will target somebody and land on their position after the intermission ends. If you're in a melee heavy group and the boss targets you when you're way back here, they're gonna be pissed. But, it's okay. You can throw a gateway to them, and they can catch up. I'm on the vent again, so I gotta move. I want to try and ramp my Tyrant here, so I send my dogs a bit early, then I teleport back. And this is going to be a pretty bad Tyrant, I just want to get it off. And it's only got 4 imps, but I didn't want to wait till after the intermission, because I wanted to have Tyrant up when I went downstairs. Okay, the boss will die here. This like storm disappears after like 4 or 5 seconds. I tried to jump early, but I jumped a bit too early and got stuck in the storm. One thing to know is that when you grab these feathers, you jump down. There's going to be these birds in cages on the way down. Oh, it's laggy. You'll want to jump and touch the birds, and if you do, you'll receive a 5-minute buff here. 5-minute buff will just passively do damage throughout the throughout combat. Jump down. Another thing as well is that in this bottom room down here, most of the time you land in the middle, but if you fall down and wait, you can jump to the far wall where you're going to be running from. You can jump this way, which is kind of cool. Doesn't save too much time, but it's neat. In this hallway here, these giant mobs are really annoying. Some of them are gonna like suck you towards them and do a bunch of damage. Some are gonna jump at you and like do AoE where you're standing, and some are gonna put like a big dot on you that does AoE damage around yourself. So you're gonna want to stay far away and then kind of stay spread out from your other casters. I really don't like this hallway. The trash before the second boss is definitely pretty rough. So there's the spread circles we gotta get from. There's the sucking circle in the middle we gotta get away from. And this is the jumping slam that I need to stay away from people with. It can be kind of hectic, but if your pulls are kind of moderately sized, like not too big, like this group's, it's not a big deal. We kind of opted for a hold the W route. We just kind of hold W and walk through the dungeon, kill the packs as they come. Nothing too crazy. And that goes to show, even in a 14, you can still just do these kind of basic routes. But maybe in 15s and upwards, you probably need to be a bit more creative. Slams on me. Casting. I didn't get away from the healer in time. But in the 14, it only does like 20% of my HP, which actually isn't that bad. The tank said he wanted to lust the second boss. And after this room, the next room has a lot of big mobs in it. A lot of groups will normally kill this stat trash on the stairs here, go to the next room, and pull like most of the room in that room, and then lust it. We're not doing that, so I feel comfortable sending my 2-minute cooldowns here. If my group was going to pull the next room and lust it or whatever, then I would just send my 1 minutes here. But we're lusting boss, so it doesn't matter. In the next room, we're also going to pull it in 2 separate pulls instead of 1 big pull. So yeah, the next room, if we pulled it all at once, is definitely the hardest pull in the dungeon. But we're just a pug, no Discord, no pre-planning, so we didn't opt for that. But thanks dropping AMZ and melee, and normally I do want to stand in AMZ, but because of the mechanics I told you about, where you kind of want to spread, I don't go stand in it. There's this curse on me, I have to walk out of a bunch. We don't have a decurse in this group, so there's no way around it. I got PI there, so I went ahead and just used my big tyrant cooldowns here, and then was hoping we would just pull the next pack pretty quickly, which he does, but maybe not quickly enough. My tyrant stuff despawned, but it's okay. I could have waited for 1 more cycle to use it, and that'd be okay. So now, we pulled these 2 big guys at the door. They're going to do the Void Crush jump. What you can do is on this pillar here, where I'm standing, you can LOS behind the pillar here, and then they'll cancel the jump cast, because they can't see you. And then you just go back in the line of sight. This dot's already on me, so I can't LOS it. I'm just trying to stay near the pillar, so that way when they cast or jump on me again, I can LOS it. The jump, if you have little wigs, the add-on, the jump is this in here. I'm just kidding. I thought these mobs at all, that was wrong.
I command this rookery by right.
So on this boss here, he's going to put this debuff on somebody. The debuff bounces a total of 4 times. Or it bounces 3 times. 4 people get the debuff. If you have the debuff, it gives you another debuff where if you take it a second time in a row, you take like 100% increased damage. So you'll want to bounce it from a DPS to the tank to a different DPS back to the tank is optimal. Or just bounce it between 4 people. You'll see the guy who has the debuff goes to melee range of the tank and then puts it on the tank here. So once that debuff wore off, the priest has this one, or if he soaks it again, it does double damage. It will definitely kill him. So yeah, we'll go like priest, tank, DPS, tank. Something like that is optimal. Or priest, tank, DPS, DPS, whatever. But I believe here the paladin bubbled it off, so it didn't spread. Or the tank AMS'd it, so it didn't spread. I'm not sure what happened, but the tank didn't get it the second time. This time I get the debuff. These 3 ranged are on me. Normally I want to go to melee to help reduce movement, but you know, the healer moved with me anyways. Which is nice. It went from me to the priest to the tank. Now it'll go to the paladin last, because the priest ran away. And we're chilling. You want to make sure that if you drop this debuff off in melee, you run away. You can drop your demonic circle, which is okay. I normally drop it on this fight, but sometimes the boss will jump to you, jump to somebody on your demonic circle, and put these pools on it, so you can't always teleport back to it. See, that exactly happened. My demonic circle's under this blue circle. So this priest got the debuff, came to melee. I wanted to come to melee to help soak. I came to stack in melee range because I wanted to help soak this debuff here, but it didn't go on me, which is fine. You know, as long as they aren't dying, it doesn't matter. But I want to do my best to help. So I'll stack on the hunter. I want to make sure I dodge the mechanic while also stacking on the tank to give him the debuff. And then I get back out. The boss is about to die. I go ahead and send my Tyrant on the 1 minute, but I don't send my 2 minute cooldowns with it. We have a pack after this, a 3-pack that's kind of annoying. Or downstairs after that we have a big pack coming as well, so I want to kill the boss faster without, you know, using my 2 minutes and unnecessarily. There, I stood right on the priest. I got cleaved by the priest's ability, and then I cleaved the priest with my AoE one. But I got PI and was doing damage, you know. I can't be asked to move during my PS window. Here, similar to before, I'm gonna go ahead and use my my Vile Fiend and my dogs. I'm actually not gonna Tyrant this pack because they're all super low. I'm gonna die, and I want to have it for when I go downstairs to the next pack. I probably could have actually used my 2 minutes on the boss at 8%. I just didn't think it was worth it. So here, he's asking for like no Parasol. There's a skip you can do in this area where you skip part of the downstairs room. We didn't opt to do that skip though. Okay, so I was in a group earlier, and we were going to do the skip. We didn't time the key. You can see we have a lot of deaths. It wasn't the best run, but we wanted to try the skip anyway. So what you do is you finish this pack here, a bit ahead. Kill the pack, and we run around the back side here of the hole, and we can use the Parasol item. They're from Shadowlands, they're in the trading post. It pretty much makes it so that when you fall, you get like a slow fall, and you can control your movement. So we'll use Parasol, and then jump off. Like this guy is, you can control where you're going to land. So I go ahead and use it. Like I said, you have to move forward slightly, then deploy. You can use this while you're falling as well. I just used mine before I fell. It's got a 15-minute cooldown, so using it first and then using it while you're falling is more time efficient, but it takes a second to activate, so don't use it too late. And now I just kind of control my movement. If you're a demon hunter, you don't need to do anything. You can just do that. Hunters can probably fall and disengage. Yeah, just like that. And you skip down here to this pack in the middle, and you skip this entire top half of the room, which is kind of inefficient. You've got like one pack and a bunch of small dudes. It definitely is good for time save. It's not going to save this group ski, that's for sure. Back in our normal run here, we're just not doing the Parasol. Wasn't in the route, and we would have missed, like we need the percentage down here to make up for trash we didn't pull earlier, so. And since I saved my a lot of my demons and stuff from earlier, right now I've got 14 imps, and all my cooldowns going into this pack here. Kind of unlucky we didn't pull the 2 elite guys over here, so it's just going to be 1 elite and like a bunch of small tiny mobs. I'm going to implosion early, just so I can do a bunch of damage to the small ads, but it isn't really optimal or all that beneficial to do that, to be honest with you. These small ads, when they die, the big guy gets a buff. So we're kind of, you know, griefing our group, but we're doing DPS, so whatever. He's got a 28 stack buff. It gives him 2% damage increased per stack of the buff. And he gets that buff based on when these small dudes die next to him. He's just doing a casual, like what, 66% DPS increase, something like that. Yeah, I think in like actual high keys, you probably won't do it like that. You'll just always do the skip. Because this mob is also kind of inefficient. I didn't have tyrant ramping for this pack, so I went ahead and sent my dogs and just implosioned immediately. I had a lot of imps, and if my tyrant was off cooldown sooner, I would not have implosioned, but I went ahead and applied my debuff from the dog on the ads, where they take like 20% increased shadow damage from me, and then I implosioned afterwards. Here, this mob, I don't want to use my tyrant on just this mob, so I send my Vile Fiend and my dogs only on it. And then I wanted to ramp imps for the next pack. It's got 3 elites, the small dudes, but I don't care about the small dudes, just the elites. Going into this pack, I have a decent amount of imps. I'll try and get my tyrant off as soon as possible. I want implosion because the small ads don't really matter. They don't matter, and there's few of them. If they didn't matter, but there are a bunch of them, then I would probably implosion. Once the big guy's dead, we're definitely safe to chain pull again, so that's exactly what we do. Here, I kind of delay my Tyrant as well. I send a set of dogs and Vile Fiend. I want to go ahead and have Tyrant used here, but I'm not going to be using it on the boss anyway until the first damage shield. I wanted to wait and go ahead and ramp for a bit of a bigger Tyrant, and then send my dogs and stuff in. Do that. If I just send 1 minute there, that's all I have up anyway. And the boss, his like RP engages as soon as these two ads die. You want to make sure that you're not in a terrible position as they die. You can get knocked off the edge here on the left and go into the water, and then it's a pain. I don't believe there's a ramp up, except for the one at the very front of the room when you first come in. And you do not want to have to swim across the room like that. There's going to be 3 little sections in this room. Here, here, and here. And in the room, you need to, use your circle to break these crystals so ads don't spawn. I'm going to soak this far end over here, so I'll just immediately gateway across and start running over. The healer will always be in the middle with maybe another DPS. The tank will always be on this left side with another DPS. We don't miss any of the crystals. They pulled the boss immediately. It's pretty easy to pull the boss instantly. But you can, not pull it instantly so your healer can get mana if they need it. So there, I'm checking the boss's shield. It's kind of a difficult thing to do. I want to time my Tyrant and ramp everything up right before the shield expires. So that way, when the shield expires and the boss takes the damage increase, I have my Tyrant ready to go. So I went ahead and used my Vile Fiend on pull and my dogs. I'm going to hold the second set so I can ramp with them on the shield. He's got like 20 million left, or 200 million left, I think, so it should be soon. Now here you can see when his shield debuff is gone, the guy that's flying will come and land next to him and then throw some sort of hammer at him. When he throws the weapon at the boss, that's when the damage amp is going to start. So if you're playing Destro or Affliction and you want to know exactly when, just wait for the guy flying on the bird to come over and hit the boss. Because that's when it'll take the damage amp. I get my Tyrant off like a second after the shield starts, which isn't terrible, but it could have been slightly better. I've got a massive army of demons under me right now. Pretty cool. Well, not bad. We did like 35% of his HP in one shield. Could be better. After you go ahead and blow up the crystal, it's generally good practice to kind of stand closer to the middle, so it's easier for the healer to reach you and heal you, because you see the healers running back and forth. As Demonology, we don't have a Dispel, so when you get this debuff, you want to go ahead and use some sort of defensive or health potion to keep yourself up. If you're playing Destruction or Affliction, you'll always want to go Imp on this boss, so you can Dispel yourself. Our hunter died, but he's across the room from me, so it'll be up to my tank to res him. But you can also use Demonic Gateway, like from this corner here, across the room to that side, and you can gateway across. Probably can also go through the middle here, but I'm not sure what interaction there is gatewaying through the boss, so I don't know if it's safe. Definitely can from like this corner to that side. You need to be res. Put your Demonic Circle here and teleport back, but I'll leave the res to somebody else. We have 3 in this group, so. Now I have my ramp coming up and the boss's shield is breaking. It's pretty perfect timing. Now I'll come stand closer to the middle so I can receive heals while just focusing on doing my DPS. Isn't really much DPS going out in this phase, so isn't too big of a deal, but This boss is definitely a long one as well. It takes a good amount of time to kill him. But that's pretty much all you need to know about this fight. Here we have a bit of a mistake happen. This guy over here is not on the ad. He doesn't break the crystal. He was right next to it, but he barely missed it. We have the ad that's going to spawn. What the ad does is it just pulses out big AoE damage, and it's obviously meleeing the tank as well. But it happens at the same time as the damage amp. So I'm kind of split on what I want to do here. I want to focus the boss. My cooldowns are up on the boss. My demons are also really far. If I send my demons over, they're going to have to run over here and run to it to attack it. If I was on the closer side, I probably would have focused it. Or if I was Destro, I would have, Havoc'd or something. But as Demo, I'm going to lose so much damage to the boss. Just so much of my damage is going to be wasted if I send my imps over to attack it. Luckily, they cleave it down on their side, which is fine. But, yeah. You definitely don't want to miss those crystals. This debuff lasts a long time, so it's always good to wait until the AoE circles have despawned before you run in. You have plenty of time. I'm gonna go ahead and ramp for my Tyrant here, because it seems about every minute-ish the shield's gonna break, and that's exactly what happens. I get Tyrant up right as the shield breaks. We're just focusing the boss. We're going to be slightly off on DPS because we had the ad spawn, I think, is the problem. But, it's okay. We'll kill him next time. We have a minute and a half left. His next shield's going to get broken in probably like 45-50 seconds. That leaves us with like 30-40 seconds to actually kill him. A close timer, but we can do it. This is only with 2 keys, 2 deaths throughout the key as well. Our pulling was definitely not the most efficient. Like I said, we had a pretty standard hold W route. If we did bigger pulls and cleaned them up, or we did the skip, we could have saved some more time. But even without those, you can still time it. Here, my Tyrant's not going to be off cooldown, but I go ahead and descend all my stuff here, because the boss is going to die. And there we go. That's the key. 3113 though. I had a video planned for when I got like 3K and 3100, but I forgot to record my 3K video. Pretty unfortunate. Yeah, that's the key. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'll catch you in the next one. Yeah.